When you look at the landscape of college football and the NFL and sports, it's not an equal playing field. And not only on the field of play, but in the coaching position, in the administration position, not only the athletic directors, but the chancellors and the presidents, because if you're the football coach at a university, you're the face of that university. You know, every Saturday you're on national television. You know, the chancellor isn't, the athletic director isn't, but your college football coach is the face of your university. And when you look at the landscape, I believe there's only 7 black coaches in the Power 5. 7. There's, you know, each team has basically over 55% black athletes on their football teams, and you only have 7 coaches. And I think that has to change. The opportunity should be there, and it should be pushed. If you look at the NFL, and I was a big fan of Dan Rooney and the Rooney family and Art Rooney because I went to school at the University of Pittsburgh, and I saw what they did, and I saw the opportunities that were given to African Americans. And a lot of teams never even went that far. And when I played in the NFL, until my 9th year in the NFL, there wasn't a modern era coach that was a black head coach in the NFL. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go into coaching, because I saw the coaching trees, and I saw that, you know, it may take me 20 years to have an opportunity to be a head coach, and I'm not going to wait that long. I can work at other things. And players have to understand that there's got to be that ability that we've got to communicate to them, that we've got programs out there that we can have players, okay, if you're not going to make it in the NFL, if you're not going to make it in the NBA, come back to college.
So thinking about programs for African American athletes, they're young, and they're usually their focus is their sport. I was a student athlete. I played volleyball at Miami, and I remember a lot of the football players when they graduated didn't really know what they thought they were going to be in the NFL, didn't know what they were going to do, and now they're in the real world. And so, how do we prepare them for the real world, even working outside of sports?
I think that there's talk now that I've read some articles, and there's been some talk about, you know, there should be a fund that's created for players, that a certain amount goes into a fund, and they can receive those funds when they return 25 or 30 years old at the end of their career, after they've come back and they graduate from college. And I think that's outstanding to give them an opportunity and a direction of where they want to go, because when you're 18 and 19 and 20, you really don't know what you want to be. A lot of people don't. You know, I was fortunate. My youngest daughter knew exactly what she wanted to do. She's going to law school. You know, my oldest daughter didn't know what direction she wanted to go, and, you know, luckily it worked out well for both of them. You know, for some of these young athletes, everybody's dream is to get to their professional top, to get to the NFL, to get to the NBA, to get to the WNBA. That's their dream. And hopefully the dream isn't shattered, but they always have to have a backup plan, no matter what it is. You know, it doesn't have to be on the field to play. What if you want to work in the front office? So how do you do that? You know, where do you go first and foremost to get that experience? And those are some of the things they have to develop, even if you don't want to get into athletic endeavors, even if you want to get into public service. You know, there's got to be a route for some of these athletes, because they don't have that opportunity. And you know as well as I, people don't realize the time that you have to put in, not only academically, but athletically. You have very free time to do things that you would really want to do. And it's different than just a student. A student athlete, that's a dual role. And just a student, it's great. You can go out and you can decide that, you know what, you know, maybe I didn't want to go into teaching, maybe I wanted to go into communications, maybe I want to go. As an athlete, you really don't have that time, because you don't have that opportunity to do that. You're really focused on your sport, and you're focused on staying academically eligible, and you're focused on, if you get to the NFL or if you get to professional sports, you know, what do you want to do after that? You know, for me, when I was a kid, my dream, I was fortunate. I wanted to play in the NFL, but my first dream was baseball. I was going to be a pitcher. That didn't happen, so my second fallback in sports was football. So, you know, I realized at that time that I had an opportunity, and I tried to take advantage of it, and fortunately for me, it worked out.